Hello, it's another Joe Dispenza Abundance Challenge video, and this is about clutter. And it's thanks to Gaynor's comment. Thanks so much to you for posting your comment. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. We all have little habits and little crutches that stem from somewhere in our past. And for me, even though I didn't really grow up with my mother, I lived with her until I was 4. So my mom had schizoaffective disorder, which is basically a combination of schizophrenia and bipolar manic depression. And then I ended up in foster care. And even though I only lived with her permanently until I was 4 years old, I developed her habit of hoarding. And the thing is that it's really, I think there are many layers to, I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but I am a clutter bug, a pack rat. I think there are many layers to that issue, but the deepest one I'm kind of feeling like is scarcity, because when there's clutter, it limits my energy. It causes me to procrastinate because my surroundings are overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed, and then I'm not able to do as much. So there's so many little intricate things going on when we hang on to things we don't need, whether that's possessions, people that are unhealthy for us, excess weight, whatever it is. There are layers of excuse and protection, I think, that we put on ourselves. And I do feel like it comes from this scarcity mentality. It shapes our world. Our perception leads to thoughts and behaviors and habits, and then that goes out into individual habits, into community habits, societal habits, and on a global scale, our scarcity and lack mentality is actually becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what do we do about it? How do we change that into an abundance mindset, and not an overconsumption abundance, but that security and that stability and that trust that we have enough of what we need? The thing about clutter is that it doesn't magically disappear. You have to take physical action in the real world to have it go away. And it's amazing all of the excuses that I have come up with to hold on to my clutter. And it's only been, so I've been in therapy and I'm working on myself, and there's all these areas that I'm working on kind of simultaneously, and I'm trying to prioritize them. And my therapist pointed out a number of months ago, I think maybe you should focus on cleaning the clutter in your house, because every time you talk about how overwhelming it is and how unhappy you are to see this mess and too much and not having a streamlined home where everything has its place. And I've been saying yes, yes. And I've done little things, and I'll work on a little section here, and I'll get rid of a few clothes there. And, it's great. It's a move in the right direction. But it wasn't until I listened back to that podcast, that Flowdreaming podcast, where I called in, and I realized that was at least 7 or 8 years ago. And I realized that I took all of that clutter from that old house that I was living in, and I brought it with me to this new place. It was really a moment of realization, like, oh my gosh, look how long I've been procrastinating on this. And procrastination is another symptom, another behavior associated with lack and scarcity. So after knowing it for myself for so many years, and after my therapist telling me, and yes, I agree with it, intellectually I see the value in getting rid of stuff, but I look at it and I feel overwhelmed. It drains my energy. So then I procrastinate on it, and it's a vicious cycle. So it took me hearing myself from 7, 8, maybe even 10 years ago, looking around, seeing that I'm still doing this same thing. With all the personal growth that I've done, I'm still living in clutter and chaos. And I'm not going to get to the next level of my growth living in that past me with clutter, the 4-year-old foster care me with dealing with my mom, or the teenager me dealing with living in a group home and being miserable, or the early 20s me living in not able to get up out of bed because I was too depressed for months and months and eating and getting heavier and heavier. All of those past Maries I've been holding on to and carrying with me. It's time to make a change. I'm really working on it now, and the more I get done, the more motivating it is. Clutter, 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 clutter. It weighs us down. I really feel like it is very similar to carrying around a lot of excess weight. Because every time I walk into my house, I feel it's like I've got a backpack of 80 pounds strapped to my back that I'm carrying around energetically. And that's the same as what happens when we have physical excess on our body that we're carrying around. So hope I didn't ramble on too much. Well, I know that I did, but I hope that some of it was valuable to you. So what are you noticing in your life related to clutter, excess, or a feeling of hoarding or not letting go, withholding? And where are you seeing that represents fear and scarcity for you? I'm curious to know. So post your comments below. And again, if you want more videos on this subject, please give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. I want to send you lots of love. Be well. Namaste.